Hi, I'm Amanda Weiss, and I'm going to be presenting our Twitter Bitcoin scam presentation with Claire, Megan, and Nick.
So for the introduction, on July 15th, 2020, big profile users were targeted and hacked, such as Elon Musk, Kanye West, and Barack Obama, and posted tweets urging their followers to send them Bitcoin, posing as a charity donation. The hackers used social engineering and Twitter administrative tools to send out the tweet. And the effect this had on Twitter is that the stock price went down by 4%, and the following day, the stock price went down by 38 cents. This raised security concerns over the ability for social media to be taken over through social engineering. And to rectify this, Twitter implemented new protocols to prevent similar attacks, new phishing resistant security keys, heightened background checks for employees, and implemented a customer support training in case of future social engineering scams. So our first theory to how this happened is the horn versus a halo effect, which is a positive first impression of someone will lead us to treat them more favorably, and a negative first impression will lead us to treat someone more negatively. Twitter hackers chose high profile users because they are viewed more favorably by a large portion of Americans, and therefore are more likely to trust their tweets and donate the money. And yeah.
Our second theory we have is the expectancy theory, which says that people will put in extra effort if they believe a valuable outcome will be the result, and less if they believe a negative one will be the result of their actions. And in the scandal, after the scandal, many Twitter employees might have felt partly responsible, leading to the loss of responsible for the scandal, leading to the loss of motivation and future efforts. And our third theory is the attribution theory, which says people look to understand how and why certain things happen. And through this understanding, they prepare to prevent future unfavorable events. Those in charge of Twitter in the case of the scandal are motivated to understand the actions of the breacher so that they can understand and prevent similar future occurrences.
The first action that we suggest Twitter to take is transparent communication. There are two sub-actions within this initiative. The first of which is that Twitter should take accountability for the organization's role in the security breach, and this will help to communicate to consumers that Twitter is dedicated to both security and privacy going forward. Also, they should reinforce the idea that they are dedicated to regaining consumer trust. This is a little bit more tangible in that it'll highlight policies and procedures that Twitter will utilize to in fact do this, and this will lead to a projection of organizational faith in their structure and their adaptability. The second action is to take preventative measures. There are two sub-actions within this. The first of which is to introduce keylogger software to track employee activity. This will be company issued devices rather than personal devices, so it'll be less invasive on the employee's privacy. Second, we suggest to implement employee training in cybersecurity. This will help to bring awareness for employees to be less susceptible to phishing attacks. And all of this will culminate in the preventability of a security breach in the future. The final action, system recovery, will be carried out by a recovery task force. The four main objectives for this task force are to review internal system processes to make sure that the company is running efficiently and effectively, to create new methods for breach response to decrease the time needed to thwart any potential risks or problems. The second to last is to provide updates to top executives so that the communication flow is solid. And lastly, to create a disaster recovery plan. That's just a formal written document of all the actions they undertake.
So we looked at Snapchat, which is one of Twitter's largest competitors, and saw that they faced a similar incident in 2016. So what happened was a hacker sent out an email to an employee posing as the co-founder of Snapchat, asking for payroll data of the Snapchat employees. And the payroll department willingly complied with this request because they didn't see anything wrong with the email because it looked like it came right from the co-founder. So the hacker walked away with a lot of the personal information of employees, including social security numbers, bank information, and much more. So a few days after the incident, Snapchat released an apology statement assuring their customers that their information was not compromised. So with this quick response to the cyber attack, Snapchat was very transparent about the incident. So unlike Twitter, Snapchat did not release any new protocols to prevent something like this from happening again. They only released an apology statement. So after their hacking incident in July of 2020, we saw Twitter take a lot of new preventative actions. So we applied 3 theories to this case, which include the Horn versus Halo effect, the expectancy theory, and the attribution theory. So we recommended some actions for Twitter to take, which included having transparent communication, taking more preventative measures, and creating a recovery task force. We also looked at Twitter's competitor, Snapchat, and saw how they reacted to a similar incident like that one of Twitter's.